Planning your first trip can feel exciting and overwhelming at the same time. You want everything to be perfect. You want to choose the right destination, book the right place, pack the right things, and somehow avoid every possible mistake. And before you realize it, the joy of travel starts to feel like pressure. The problem is not that you are doing something wrong. The problem is that you are trying to plan like an experienced traveler before you have even taken your first step. On Plan My Trip, this journey is about removing that pressure, because your first trip does not need to be perfect. It needs to be simple, intentional, and kind to your mind. When you stop trying to plan everything, travel becomes what it is meant to be: an experience, not a test. The first thing you need to understand is that overthinking usually comes from one place: fear of making the wrong choice. You worry about picking the wrong destination. You worry about wasting money. You worry about missing something important. But travel is not about maximizing everything. It is about choosing one direction and allowing the experience to unfold. There is no single correct trip. There is only the trip that fits where you are right now. That is why the smartest way to start planning your first trip is to ask a very simple question. What kind of experience do you want to have? Not where do you want to go? Not how many places you want to see. Just how you want to feel. Calm, curious, energized, rested, inspired. When you plan around how you want to feel, decisions become easier. A beach makes sense if you want calm. A city makes sense if you want stimulation. Nature makes sense if you want clarity. Once you decide how you want to feel, limit your options on purpose. One of the biggest mistakes first-time travelers make is researching too much. You open 10 tabs, watch endless videos, read dozens of blogs, and suddenly every destination feels both perfect and wrong. Instead, choose 2 or 3 destinations that fit your desired feeling and stop searching beyond that. The goal is not to find the best option in the world. The goal is to find a good option that allows you to move forward. Now let's talk about timing, because this is where stress often begins. You do not need the perfect dates, you need reasonable dates. For your first trip, shorter is better. 3 to 5 days is ideal. It gives you enough time to experience something new without feeling overwhelmed. Long trips create pressure. Short trips build confidence. You want to return home feeling capable, not exhausted. When it comes to booking, simplicity should guide every decision. Book one flight or one form of transportation. Book one place to stay. Avoid moving hotels or cities on your first trip. Constant movement creates mental fatigue. Staying in one place allows your mind to settle and your experience to deepen. You will see more by doing less. Choosing where to stay is not about luxury, it is about comfort and convenience. Look for places with good reviews that mention cleanliness, safety, and location. Do not overanalyze photos. Focus on how close you are to what you want to experience. Walking distance to food, transport, or nature reduces stress more than any fancy feature ever will. Now let's address the fear of planning activities. Many first-time travelers feel they need a full itinerary. Every hour planned, every attraction scheduled. This is one of the fastest ways to burn out before the trip even begins. Instead, choose one main activity per day. Just one. Everything else becomes optional. This creates structure without pressure. If you feel energetic, you do more. If you feel tired, you rest without guilt. Remember this: free time is not wasted time. Some of the best travel moments happen in between plans. Sitting in a cafe, watching people pass by, taking a wrong turn and discovering something unexpected. When you overplan, you remove space for magic. Packing is another area where overthinking thrives. The truth is simple. You will not need as much as you think. Most stress comes from trying to prepare for every possible situation. Instead, pack for the most likely ones. Comfortable clothes, one pair of good shoes, Essentials only. If something goes wrong, you solve it there. Travelers learn confidence by solving small problems, not by preventing all of them. Let's talk about money because financial stress ruins more trips than bad weather ever could. Before you go, decide how much you are comfortable spending overall. Not down to the last detail, just a number that feels safe. Then break it loosely into transport, stay, food, and experiences. Once that is done, stop calculating every expense. Constantly tracking money creates anxiety. Trust your plan and allow flexibility. One of the most overlooked parts of planning a first trip is mental preparation. Travel will not go exactly as planned. Something will be delayed, something will change. This is not failure, this is travel. When you accept this in advance, problems become stories instead of stress. The goal of your first trip is not control, it is adaptability. As the trip approaches, resist the urge to keep researching. This is important. Over-researching creates expectations. Expectations create disappointment. Go in curious, not certain. Let the destination introduce itself to you. Travel feels lighter when you allow yourself to be surprised. During the trip, move slower than you think you should. Eat when you are hungry. Rest when you are tired. If you wake up one morning and feel like doing nothing, let that be part of the experience. You are not behind, you are present. And when you return home, reflect. Not on what you missed, but on what you learned. What felt good? What felt stressful? What you would do differently next time? This reflection turns one trip into many future trips. Confidence comes from experience, not perfection. The truth is, your first trip will never be flawless, and that is exactly why it will be meaningful. You will remember the feelings more than the details. The freedom, the nervous excitement, the moment you realize you can handle more than you thought. Travel is not something you master before you begin. You begin, and then you learn. One trip at a time. If this guide helped quiet your mind and made travel feel more approachable, stay connected with Plan My Trip. Because the best journeys do not start with perfect plans. They start with a decision to try. And your first trip does not need to be stress-free. It just needs to be yours.